Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Johnny Wimbrey, the founder and CEO of Wimbrey Training Systems. Johnny brings a fascinating mix of expertise in motivational speaking and mindset mastery, over 25 years of experience in network marketing and personal development, generating tens of millions in revenue, and a passion for helping individuals overcome adversity to build prosperous lives. Based in Southlake, Texas, Wimbrey Training Systems, founded in 2010, is revolutionizing how leaders and entrepreneurs amplify their potential and attract opportunities through training and coaching. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the personal development space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Johnny, welcome to Founders Future.
Jay, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm excited, brother. I greatly appreciate it. It's an honor to be here.
And it is an honor to have you on the show, Johnny. An incredible background and everything that you're doing in the space is just amazing. So truly an honor. Let's take it back to the beginning for our listeners here, Johnny, if we can. What specific problem in the personal development landscape really inspired you to start Wimbrey Training Systems?
Man, my story starts very early on. I actually wrote a book called From the Hood to Doing Good, which is my very first book. My earliest memory of life living in a battered women's shelter. I was raised around gangs and violence and drugs my entire youth. Failed the second grade, had a felony arrest in high school. At
Oh,
my homeboy's funeral, one of my homeboys killed one of my other homeboys. We were the night of the wake, the day before the funeral. I was sitting in there with a gun and I'm planning to retaliate. And the mother walks up to the casket and she says, "I forgive the young man who killed my son." And here I am sitting in a church with a gun going to retaliate. And man, by the grace of God, I was paying attention. I listened to what she said. And I'm like, I don't love him like that. If the mother had already found forgiveness, who am I to go get revenge? And I
right,
asked the preacher to meet me outside and I gave him my gun. And that was the day I decided to reset my life. And
incredible.
the answer to the story is I was an entrepreneur in the streets.
Yeah,
So the number one reason that people aren't successful is because they're afraid to take risks. Every day of my life was a risk. So when I transferred that mindset into the business world, doing things the right way as I became an adult and entering life, I never lost my fight. I never lost my hustle, and I never lost my fear of getting started, which basically took me down the path of starting multiple ventures. But it really goes back to the fact that I didn't lose my fight. I changed my life, but I did not lose my fight.
incredible. Absolutely incredible. What an inspiring story there, Johnny. Clear as day that the listeners have a lot to take from there, right? Because it doesn't matter where you come from, what the background is, if you
Come on.
have that drive, that passion, that desire, and you go after something, you can be successful. So
Absolutely.
it's incredible and an honor again to have you here talking us through that. I definitely want to know a bit more and get into the nuts and bolts of what you're doing with Wimbry
Yeah,
Training Systems, especially for our listeners who could end up, once this airs, coming and working with you. So walk us
sure.
through a bit of the core offer there, Johnny. As far I know you have some tailored coaching programs, leadership seminars. How is that structured for your clients, and who is the ideal client that you like to work with? Three-part question for you there, Johnny.
That's a real good question. I'm gonna start with the last one. I'm a student of Les Brown. I've done business with Les Brown around the world. I've been on stages from South Africa to Zimbabwe to
Wow.
Singapore, Israel, all throughout Nazareth. I've been on stage literally all over the world, but I've been
Right.
trained by the best of the best speakers. And one time I asked Les that, I said, as I'm building my company, and I'm in my 20s at the time, I just turned 50. This is my 20s. I
Wow.
said, Les, as I'm building my company, and I want to target specific audiences. And I really want to help people who want to break through in life, but I want to give back to the hood. I want to give back to where I came from, but I want to work with people. I'm a multi-millionaire. I built multi-million dollar organizations even in my 20s. And I'm like, how do I cater my message to the individuals? He said, Johnny, it's very simple. You want to serve those who are at the top and anybody else who wants to get there.
Oh, incredible.
So that
Absolutely.
is the first question. The second question is Wimbrey Training System is an all-inclusive umbrella of ventures that really help individuals who want to find their voice. I train professional speakers, people who want to find their niche in specific markets, individuals that want to transfer from being top money earner or top income earner respected in their community, but they want to expand their brand by becoming a best-selling author. We have a publishing arm. So I help individuals and I love to elevate the visibility of good people who have great voices, who have a real heart and a passion to help empower people break through in life.
That is incredible and just so inspiring. And the fact of the matter that you've seen so much success, you've worked with such prolific names in the industry, in the space, and still here getting after it, keeping in charge. It's just incredible to hear that journey and everything that you're still doing on top of that. So what does it look like right now for you on the acquisition side? Obviously, you've been in the game for quite some time. So what's working best today, especially as everything has changed, AI and technology? What channels have been most
Man,
effective
has
for
it?
you now?
Has it?
No, exactly.
I'm very careful not to reinvent myself, but reinvent my platforms, reinvent the structuring that the way that I bring myself to communities. I'm a stage guy. So
Mm,
transferring to doing these type of things, it is a change
yeah.
because on stage you get that immediate gratification. Like you get
Right.
that immediate hand clap. You get that immediate standing ovation so you can feel what you're doing and empowering into the lives of individuals in real time. So to adjust to this world wasn't really hard for me because I come from acting, I come from television. I've done a lot in television.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard for me, but I've seen really good people who have very powerful messages get left behind because they weren't able to adapt and adjust. So for me, man, adapting and adjusting on a masterful level, like you can't sleep. There,
Yeah.
you can't take off 90 days like you used to. Like technology does not wait for you.
No, it does not. As far as that goes, are you utilizing for new clients and lead generation within the systems? Are you using ads now? Are you basing more off referrals? Are you doing more around social media? What's working best on that side to bring those leads in for you?
That's a really good question because right now we're dealing with that question right now. Like I've always been the referral guy. I've always been the guy I've never had to advertise myself as a speaker
Right.
because if I'm on a stage, that stage is going to duplicate into the rest of the year of me being on stages. So
Right.
I've never even had a business card.
Wow.
And now the world that we live in, you have to be super relevant and out there. So now my team right now, their assignment is to keep me relevant, to keep
Yes.
me relevant. And if I were to be extremely transparent with you, is my greatest frustration is building the house around the opportunity. Like for me, man, I am the bullet in the chamber. If you aim
Yes.
me at a target, I'm gonna hit it. But if you
Yeah.
try to explain to me how that gun works, I don't care. I'm
Right.
going to hit the target. So
Yeah.
now you have to be more target specific and focused. And for me, it's better for me to have a team that focuses on things like that so I can stay in the air. When you have built $1 billion infrastructure and revenue with it expanded over 70 countries, I have to pay attention to what my gift is. And my gift is staying in the air. If I come out of the air, the entire team loses. So I don't have time to learn how to do social media transitions and how, listen, there's enough information out there on me for my team to find and keep me relevant in the now. And that's their job.
Love it. I absolutely love it. So with that, as far as the team does go, do you have a sales team? Obviously, it sounds like you have a good marketing team going. What does that team aspect look like to keep the relevance going, to keep the leads coming in? How explain that to us a bit.
Man, this is $1 million coaching right here, man. I'm going to give this to you guys for free. Now, I am in the path of looking for individuals who want to elevate their visibility and help them become best-selling authors being featured in a new publishing book a hardback book that I'm doing called Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. So the whole idea is I'm finding people who are giants of specific industries, specific
Yes.
niches, and I'm elevating their visibility and I'm making them a brand, not just a top money earner or a CEO or an executive. I'm helping them get on morning shows and how to become that panelists, how to get invited to podcast shows. That's normally reserved for people who are best-selling authors. So what I'm doing right now is this is crazy. I haven't spent $1 in advertising. I have what they call giant scouts. So I have scouts. Scouts are individuals for me, and some of them are my authors. Individuals who, like, when I interview someone to be a potential author in my book, because just because you can afford to be in my book doesn't mean you're going to be in it. We have to, our brands have to jive. Like something about us has to connect, right? I'm looking and I'm hunting for good people with great voices. So now I have scouts. And my scouts literally, they're at events, they're meeting people, they're doing what they're organically, naturally doing anyway. And when they send somebody my way and that person leads to a contracted author, they are paid a fee.
Right.
There's no monthly quotas. I have a volunteer army of individuals that meet good people. They bring them back to me. We interview them. If they make the cut, those individuals, we Zelle them money immediately. And you're talking, I've got scouts that have made thousands of dollars in 1 month and they don't even work for me.
Wow.
So it's a volunteer army of scouts. And if they want to do something socially, they can. But
Right.
organically, they're just out meeting good people and then they just make the referral. And for me, in terms of my publishing arm, that has been in the last 90 days, I would say 50% of all of our revenue has come from scouts. And
Wow.
they're having fun.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's a very effective affiliate, right? You're utilizing the affiliate route,
Yeah.
having
That's
them
the world I
really,
come from. Think
yeah,
about it. I
yeah,
come from the world of recruiting and building and duplication. And so
exactly.
when you say ads to me, I'm like, don't mention that to me.
Yeah,
Just tell me what the budget is
exactly.
and I'll see what works. And when you prove to me that it works, I'll double the budget. I'll triple the budget, whatever it is. For
Yes,
me, I want to build people. I
yes,
want to create income. I've always been that guy.
yes,
I want to help people make money and I want to align with good people. And the scouts things gets me so much more fired up
yeah,
because it reminds me of my network marketing days.
absolutely incredible. So when it comes to the offers that you have right now, and somebody wants to come and work with you on your coaching side of things, the leadership seminars or the tailored programs that you have, do you have a team that specifically speaks with them? And then once they qualify them, whether it's a setter that you have and a closer, once they say, yeah, this guy's a good fit, then they push it on to you? Or do you have those initial conversations before you determine if you're going to work with them or not? How does that process work?
We don't really have a lot of low end programs.
Yeah.
Most of our programs are like 10,000, 15,000, 25,000. So those
Right.
require interviews.
Exactly.
I do have things that I offer that are in the like $500 range and things like
Yep.
that. It's a little bit more turnkey.
Right.
We have not been able to focus on those as much as
Okay.
we used to. But right now, everything that we do is based on interview process. We want to meet the people, whether I'm on stage, I'm at mastermind groups and I'm meeting good people.
Yeah.
And we just funnel them back to a calendar that invites them to a Zoom. And then
Right.
we're doing this face to face. Would I love to have a system, and if we have somebody who's watching this right now that has proven documented systems that can work, and you can have setters and appoint, I would love to find that. But I just got to be transparent with you. Hundreds of people have reached out to be that and do that, and I haven't had anyone be able to deliver. So it's so saturated, and I see some of my friends and people that I love and people that I respect,
Absolutely.
it's every time I look around, they're popping up there, and that's great. And I just ask myself, do I want to be that guy? I'm not saying that I don't want to be, but I'm not the guy that's going to come on here and say, hey, let me tell you why your speaking company sucks. And it's those one-liners that catch people attention, and and for me, it turns me off because like my wife can spot a fake purse from 30 feet away.
Yeah.
I can spot a fake person from 30, like 3 feet away.
Exactly.
Visually, they don't have a heart for what they're doing. They're only doing it for money. And I just wasn't trained that way.
That is absolutely incredible. So, I mean, with that, there, then, what are some of the bottlenecks that you're facing, Johnny? Obviously, so much success throughout your career. When it comes to now, where you're really continuously looking to achieve, what are some of the things that you're thinking about to break through for that continued success?
Creating systems that are duplicable.
Yes.
I think a lot of times when you're a personality driven company, that could be a bottleneck. If it's all about me, that feels good early on. It feels good when you're launching, but it's a bottleneck. It's a death trap because you
Yes.
haven't duplicated. And I teach legacy. My three-time number one best-selling book, Building a Millionaire Mindset, is
Yes.
imported by Les Brown, Emmett Smith, Bishop Jakes, Evan Carmichael. It's like just this book, the subtitle is How to Use the Pillars of Entrepreneurialism to Gain, Maintain, and Sustain Long-Lasting Wealth. This is the cheat code for my children. This is, if you ever want to know what daddy did, his mindset to go from homeless to being a multimillionaire to create the life like the second generation millionaires, this is their roadmap to understand my mindset.
Yes.
So if I didn't start thinking like that, the bottleneck would be me having burnout. And now, what got me to where I'm at right now will not sustain where I'm going. If I'm always going to be the personality driven corporation, at some point, my personality is going to die.
Yes.
So, success is in duplication, it's not in your own efforts. And that's the mindset that I've taught that forever in home based businesses. And now, the reality in my business, everything I think about is how do I duplicate a perpetual successful business, whether I'm
Mhm.
here or not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Paint us the picture then, Johnny. Clear as day. The mission is still grow, scale, and put yourself out there as much as you can. What does the rest of 2025 look like for you? What are you really laser focused on here, John?
Right now, we're focused on being a voice that's going to bring empowerment. And I'll tell you my why behind it. For the first time in the history of mankind, like if you, Adam and Eve, the first time in the history of man,
Yeah.
we're not going to elders. Every tribe, any sect of people that you can mention,
Yeah.
all the way back to Adam and Eve, they all went to elders for advice.
Yes.
We're going to people who know how to get clicks, comments, follows, and likes. They could be in their 20s, haven't even lived long enough to advise. And we've created this world, man, where we're dying
Yeah.
because we're listening to unqualified voices. They may be qualified to get you to look, they may be qualified to get you to dance to their music, but there's no substance behind it. And
Mhm.
all I'm saying is this, like what I want to create and what I'm building out right now is I want to create, that's why I'm doing the books, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I want to find good people who have great voices and elevate them to a elder mindset type. An elder has nothing to do with age. It has something to do with wisdom. It has something to do with experience. So right now, what Johnny Wimbrey is working on in Wimbrey Training Systems, it's 100% legacy mindset and getting the ears back to the elders. Those, the Bible says, in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. In the
Mhm.
multitude of counsel, there is safety. These influencers, they're not counselors. They're
Yes.
good at what they do. I admire them. I'm not hating on them at all. But to act as if you know what like you're giving advice to married couples and you're not even married.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I believe my calling on life is to elevate good voices, great voices that have a heart and a passion to help people. And that is my 2025. That's probably going to be my 2026
Yeah.
is putting voices of eldership back in place because we're not safe right now.
Absolutely. Just super inspiring on that front. It's something that needs to be said. So I'm so happy that you are putting that forward. And this is something that's going to be aired and many are going to listen to it because it is so true. It's a weird day and age that we're in right now with social media and technology and the way things are going.
Crazy.
It is
And
crazy. For
it's
sure.
an unpopular message, but
Yeah.
that's what elders do. The elders tell the truth. Like
Yeah.
I'm 50. I don't consider myself an elder, but if you look at what I've done for the last 25 years, I've lived 20 lives
Yeah.
compared to what most people will see and most people will do, most people will earn, and most people will create. So as an elder of entrepreneurialism, it is my responsibility to go back and put the dots back in place that protect our future. I don't care if you made $10 million in the last 90 days on social media. If you're distributing junk and garbage, you're a part of the problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Johnny, I got one more question for you before we wrap up. The time flew by on me here. What is the best piece of advice? I know you're going to have something great here for the listeners. What can you leave for our listeners here before we wrap up the show today, Johnny?
The best advice that I can give you in business, and I want to, you're looking at someone who's a happy parent,
Mm.
who's a happy husband, who has a happy wife, who's his happy business partner, love of his life, been married for 27 years. I met her the day after I gave the gun to the preacher when I was a junior in high school.
Wow.
So you're looking at someone who has balanced life, not perfectly. I made a lot of mistakes, but it's balanced life on a level where I have sustained my commitments.
Mm.
So what I'm about to tell you doesn't come from fluff. And I can say this confidently. I can't think of one marriage. And I know famous people that you see on TV every day. I know I know some of the most influential ministers and church leaders of our time, business people, social entrepreneurs, that we all know who they are. I can't think of one person on the planet that I look at them and say, I wish my life was like that.
Wow.
That is the greatest trophy of my life. So here's the answer. Surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you.
Mm.
For 30 years of my life, since I was 20 years old, when I gave my gun to the preacher, I was 18. I made a decision that any voice that was going to influence me is going to be a voice where I can look at that voice and say, I want what they have, not money wise.
Right.
I want what they have because of who they are and how peaceful they are. I know people who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And if I ask them, when's the last time you looked in the mirror and you smiled at you? Not your house, not your bank account. You literally looked in the mirror and you said, I'm proud of you. I mentor those individuals. That breaks them. They cry, they break down because they can't answer the question. I can look at myself in the mirror at 50 years old and say, I'm proud of myself. I love myself. What I've accomplished, my money doesn't make me, I make the money. My businesses don't make me, I make the businesses. Surround yourself around the thinking that outthinks you. That's the absolute best advice I can give anyone.
Absolutely incredible. With that, that is going to wrap up another incredibly inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Johnny, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. That journey is truly one for the books. And as you have a couple of books here, well deserved. I can't thank you enough again. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, as did I, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And also check out Wimbrey Training Systems at johnnywimbry.com for their free resources, and follow Johnny on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Johnny Wimbrey. For more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.